Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about something huge, a massive shift happening in the world of cybersecurity. Think of it like a new digital gold rush, and it's pitting a brand new, radical career path against the old, traditional way of doing things.
All right, so let's just jump right in. To really get what's going on here, I want you to start with a simple question. Just think for a second. What does a top-tier cybersecurity expert make? Like the best of the best? Go ahead, get a number in your head.
Okay, you got a number? Was it anywhere near this? I mean, look at this. On one side, you've got traditional cybersecurity. A fantastic salary, right? 300 grand a year. But then, look at the other side. Web3 white hat hacking. That's $10 million. And get this, that's not for a year. That's for finding one single flaw. The difference is, well, it's just staggering.
And look, that $10 million figure, that's not some crazy one-off thing. This is actually becoming the new normal in this space. I mean, just one platform, Immunefi, has paid out over $120 million to these ethical hackers. We're talking about dozens of people becoming millionaires just from doing this.
So the big question is, how is this even possible, right? Well, to figure that out, we've got to go inside this new Web3 frontier. It's time to meet let's call them the digital prospectors at the very heart of this new gold rush.
So, these hackers are called white hats. And no, they're not the bad guys you see in the movies. They're actually the good guys. They operate in this world called Web3, the new internet being built on blockchain. You can think of them as the new sheriffs in a kind of digital Wild West, finding these dangerous bugs in crypto projects before the real criminals can get to them.
And the whole process, it's called a bug bounty, and it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. Step 1, they dig through the code of these decentralized finance or DeFi projects. Step 2, if they find a really critical flaw, they don't use it for evil. They report it privately and responsibly. And then step 3, they get paid. And yeah, they get paid a lot.
So why are the payouts so astronomical? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. It's all about the amount of money that's at risk. A single tiny mistake in the code of one of these DeFi projects could mean hundreds of millions, sometimes even billions, of dollars just gone. So the reward is tied directly to that. Sometimes it's as high as 10% of the money they save. So yeah, you do the math. If you stop a project from losing $100 million, you can walk away with a $10 million check. It's wild.
And this isn't just theoretical stuff we're talking about. It's really changing people's lives. Just take a look at this post from a user on X. They said they've made around $3 million just since they decided to focus their skills on Web3 instead of traditional security. I mean, that's a pretty powerful example of just how strong the financial pull is here.
Okay, so now that we've seen this kind of crazy high-stakes world, let's switch gears. Let's look at the path that most cybersecurity pros actually take, the traditional corporate career.
And look, don't get me wrong, traditional cybersecurity jobs pay really well. An InfoSec analyst is looking at a median salary of over 120 grand. A CISO, that's a Chief Information Security Officer, is pulling in around $250,000. These are fantastic, stable careers, but they're just playing in a completely different financial league than the Web3 world we were just looking at.
So what's the trade-off? Why would anyone choose this path? Well, the crucial point is what you get in exchange for that lower salary ceiling: stability. We're talking a steady paycheck, benefits, and amazing job security. In fact, the whole field is expected to grow by a whopping 29% over the next decade. It's the safe, reliable, and totally respectable choice.
All right, so we've seen both sides of the coin. Now let's put them head to head. Let's really break down the choice a top security expert is facing right now. I mean, when you see it like this, the difference is just undeniable. Those first two bars, that's a great median salary and a top-end executive salary in the traditional world. And that massive third bar, that is one single payout for a Web3 hacker. It's not just a bigger number, It's a completely different way of thinking about money.
And this table really lays out that paradigm shift perfectly. Let's break it down. For income, it's either these huge one-time windfalls versus a steady salary with benefits. Job stability, it's literally the difference between low and high. And yeah, the top Web3 folks can make millions in a year, but there is zero guarantee. Even the skills are totally different. Web3 is all about super niche stuff, like coding in a language called Solidity for smart contracts. Traditional security, it's more about broader IT skills and getting certifications.
But hold on, before you go quit your job and sign up for a How to Hack Blockchains course, it is absolutely crucial to get this. This is not easy money. there's a real dark side to this whole gold rush.
The life of one of these bounty hunters is all about volatility. There's no guaranteed paycheck. You could easily go months without making a dime, all while facing insane pressure and this just brutal learning curve. You're usually on your own, you don't have a ton of resources, and sometimes you run into these really messy ethical gray areas that are just incredibly stressful.
And on top of all that, it's not exactly a level playing field. A kind of class divide is starting to emerge here. The people who are really crushing it, they often have a background in big tech, or they have the right connections. And that makes it way, way harder for a newcomer to just jump in and find one of those huge, multi-million-dollar bugs.
And this actually has a pretty serious knock-on effect for all of us. Experts are getting really worried about something called a talent drain. Think about it. If all the smartest security experts are chasing these huge crypto payouts, who's left to protect our critical infrastructure? You know, our banks, our power grids, our hospitals? It's a really serious question.
So, when you put it all together, what does this huge disruption actually mean for the future of digital security? Where is this all going?
When you boil it all down, this whole thing is really a story about a fundamental conflict. On one hand, you've got the lure of high risk, high reward, going it alone. And on the other, you have the stability of protecting the established systems that, let's be honest, our entire society depends on every single day.
And that leaves us with one last, really crucial question to think about. It is absolutely true that for a handful of people, security has never, ever paid this well. But as all this talent, all this brain power shifts to this new frontier, you have to ask yourself, who, or maybe what, is ultimately paying the price for all of this?